And joining us now from the Loyola University Maryland Selinger School of Business is Dean Kathleen Getz. Dr. Getz, thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
You have an interesting perspective on business and capitalism. You started out as a student of social work.
I did.
Now you're running a big business school. Many people perceive business as kind of a necessary evil. How do you think about it?
Oh, they're so wrong. I see business as generally virtuous and as one of the most important contributors to economic and societal well-being.
Okay, so generally virtuous.
Generally. We know that sometimes businesses make mistakes. Sometimes businesses deliberately make those kinds of mistakes. But businesses doing what they do, producing goods and services, employing people, paying a fair return to their investors, are doing good for society.
Partly that's become a mainstream view with a little opposition after the fall of communism and socialism.
Yes, I think this is really all about not just business as a set of organizations, but the business system, the free enterprise system, capitalism, whichever you choose to call it. This is the system in which businesses are best able to do that which they do best, to fully and truly think carefully about contributing to society. And they don't do it because they're saying, how can I contribute to society? They do it because it's their natural inclination to leverage the creativity of human beings and of human beings together in groups with their own interest in doing well for themselves and providing for their families. And as those two things come together, the end result is good for all. We get products and services that we want or need. We have people who are employed and have the dignity of providing for themselves and their families, and investors get their return and can then turn that around and do other things with it, give themselves pleasure, provide for their own families, reinvest in another business. And this really is a positive sum kind of a game. And so with recognized exceptions, this works well for all.
What's the role of government, other stakeholders in terms of limiting those exceptions?
Government's job, first and foremost, is to provide the conditions in which business can operate. And in a capitalistic system, what that means is supporting the principle of private property, allowing those who own private property to do what they choose to do with it, supporting a system of contract enforcement. So those are the two basics, private property and contract enforcement. But at the same time, the government does have a role in assuring that the businesses follow the law and maintain an ethical approach to what they do.
Does a Jesuit institution, a Jesuit-run business school, or an institution that was created by Jesuits, look at it any differently?
I think that a Jesuits business school is one of the best places to promote this idea of business that I'm talking to you about. Jesuit business school, Jesuit universities, the Jesuit system, talk a lot about social justice and many other values in the Jesuit system, but the one you hear a lot about is social justice. I truly believe that business is one of the best contributors to, one of the best engines for social justice that we can have. And at the risk of repeating myself, I believe that because it enables individuals to know their own self-interest, those who do know their own self-interest, to pursue it. And as they do that, there are these spillover positive externalities that benefit others.
What's happening in the MBA world? What are the trends you're seeing in terms of the applicants and the coursework that they're most interested in?
Yeah. So we've been through a cycle. We go through lots of cycles in the MBA environment. We're on now an upswing that the MBA has become somewhat more attractive than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And what we're seeing is two different trends. One is that some MBA students and some future of their potential employers are really focused on the generalist. They really want somebody who gets that very well-rounded education, and increasingly that well-rounded education is all the business disciplines, but it includes some of the things that you would typically associate with a liberal arts university: the critical thinking, the capacity to work in teams, the capacity to understand human beings, and to appreciate their employees and other people's needs for balance. So that's one trend, the generalist who has a clear human side and knows what to do with it. And then the other side of it is a search for specialization. And that specialization these days is focused on analytics and finance more than anything else.
Those sound like contradictory trends.
They're trends for different markets. So I would say that those who want data analytics and want finance would also hope that the people that they hire understand their human side and understand the human side of those with whom they are working. But at the same time, they're looking for very high-level skills and skills that can be deployed the first day on the job, and skills and a person who can not only do that, but can also continue to learn, knowing that the tools with which we analyze, that being computer science and those kinds of things, are going to change and become, we hope, better, but certainly different.
It all keeps changing.
Yes.
Dean
yes.
Getz, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. It's been my pleasure.